Hi, welcome to the New Bedford Symphony Orchestra's Family Musical Connections program. My name is Terry and I'm going to be getting you ready for the All Beethoven concert coming up on Saturday, May 11th. I am so excited for this concert because nobody beats Beethoven. The way that he combines technical mastery with composition with great emotional power that really has an impact on his listeners. Put those things together and nobody beats Beethoven. Today we're going to be looking at the Egmont Overture, which opens the concert on Saturday. This music was composed for Goethe, pronounced Goethe, but spelled G-O-E-T-H-E. No, that is not a fancy brand of German pickles. Kind of sounds like it though. Goethe was a famous writer who asked Beethoven to compose music for his play called Egmont. Count Egmont, who in 1567 called for his people to stand up to the oppressive foreign rulers and risked everything to fight for freedom of his countrymen. Beethoven likened this story to the events that were happening in his own time, where he was concerned by the French occupation in Europe. The Egmont Overture opens with an introduction that really sets the tone for the action that's going to follow in the play. It begins with a long-held note by the orchestra, and then the opening bars tell us that there's going to be struggle and that Egmont is really going to have to experience some hardship to fight for his people's freedom. There's also a kind of a mushy love story in here too, and you're going to hear that melody in the introduction as well. Let's listen to the opening introduction to Egmont. Not only does the introduction set the tone for the events that are going to happen in the play, but Beethoven gives us the musical ideas that he will explore throughout the overture. You see, this is where Beethoven's genius really comes through. He knows how to take a short musical idea. Oh, I don't know, maybe you remember this short musical idea. We all know that. He knows how to take these small musical ideas and repeat it, change it, play around with it in so many different ways. The fancy word for this is called Motivic development. This means that Beethoven can take a short little musical idea and develop it, change it, alter it, repeat it in really creative and fun ways. It kind of reminds me of a TV show I've seen called Iron Chef. The chefs on the show are given a few ingredients, and then each must use and combine these ingredients in different ways to create an amazing dish. Beethoven does this too. Beethoven combines musical ingredients in different ways to create a masterful piece of music. Today we are going to look at Beethoven's recipe for composing the Egmont Overture. Okay, not really like that. We're going to begin by looking at a short rhythmic idea that Beethoven explores throughout this piece. It has a short note followed by a long note. We heard it in the opening introduction. It kind of has an up-down feel, with the second note feeling heavier than the first. Up, down, up, down, up, down. Kind of like this frog jumping into the air and landing. Let's listen again with our frog. Up, down, up, down. Throughout the piece, Beethoven repeats this up-down rhythmic idea. This technique is called repetition, and it's the first part of our Beethoven's composing recipe. So the next step in our Beethoven composing recipe is addition. This means he takes the up-down rhythmic idea and he adds some extra notes, extra ingredients to it. It goes from being an up-down to an up-up-up-down. Let's bring back our frog so we can see how it's moved from an up-down to an up-up-up-down. Now as I play this section, Beethoven takes this idea and moves it on higher and lower notes all over the place. This is called transposition. Listen how it sounds good on no matter what note Beethoven starts it on. Then he he starts to change the contour, change the shape of that melody of the up, 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 down. Let's listen as he moves that around. We've seen how Beethoven has explored a rhythmic idea, the up-down, but he also uses a four-note descending melody. It came from the opening with that mushy love song. From here, we have, you hear our four notes going right down, four notes descending. Now, a few moments later, Beethoven uses addition again. He has the four-note descending melody, but he adds a note before it and after it. You'll see those notes in pink. Now again, he starts to move this all over the place, starting this descending melody on different pitches, higher and lower. If you listen carefully, not only do we have the four-note descending melody idea, but Beethoven still has that up-down rhythmic figure in the bass. Let's listen. Up, down. Up, down. Up, down. Did you hear it? Later on in the overture, Beethoven brings back the two contrasting ideas from the introduction. We had the up-down, and then we had that love song melody. But later on in the overture, he plays it much faster, like this. Stop here because this is really cool what he's doing. Beethoven takes the up, 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 down rhythmic idea and he plays it much slower. But what's really cool is that he plays it backwards. Instead of up, 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 down, he goes down, up, up, up. This is called retrograde, kind of a fancy word for meaning that he plays it backwards. Listen again. Down, up, 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 down, up, 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 down. Retrograde. Now let's review some of the techniques that we've learned today in Beethoven's Egmont Overture. Here's our recipe card. We had repetition, playing an idea again and again. We also saw addition, where Beethoven adds some extra notes to his musical idea. We heard transposition, where we heard Beethoven's idea move around, starting on high pitches and sometimes on lower pitches. We also heard him change the shape or the contour of some of his melodies, but keeping that rhythm the same. I thought I'd throw in two extra ones not talked about today, but that you'll hear in the concert. Diminution means that the rhythms are played faster, and augmentation means that he takes his musical idea and plays it a little slower. Retrograde, we also saw, where Beethoven takes an idea and plays it backwards.